You are born in the Flea Bottom. If you don't know what that means, congratulations, you've never had to know. It means you enter this world in a room that smells like someone died in it, because someone probably did. The midwife wipes you off with a rag that's been used for 3 births before yours, and your mother names you something plain, practical, the kind of name small folk give their children when they know better than to get attached. Your father works the docks. Your mother sells fish. You have 2 siblings. One of them dies before their 3rd name day fever, nothing dramatic. The other one you grow up with. You share a bed that's more straw than mattress, and you eat a stew called bowl of brown because asking what's in it is a question only idiots and nobles ask. You're 7 years old. You learn fast. You learn that the gold cloaks, the city watch, are not there to protect you. They are there to remind you that you are the bottom of the bottom. You learn that the great sept bells mean either someone important got married or someone important died. And either way, you'll be expected to cheer. You learn that the Red Keep looming up on Aegon's Hill is not your castle. It belongs to people who will never once think about you. This is fine. You don't think about them either. You're 10. Your father gets his hand crushed at the docks. A crate. One bad afternoon, and suddenly your family's only income is your mother hawking fish and you running small errands for a chandler on the street of Flower. You carry wax. You sweep floors. You listen to merchants argue about distant wars, some place called the Riverlands, something about a Stark, something about a Lannister. You don't care. None of that touches you. Yet, you're 12. The city gets tense. Word spreads through Flea Bottom the way everything spreads through Flea Bottom, whispered half wrong. Terrifying. A king is dead. Another king sits the throne. A wolf lord is coming. An army of Baratheons, and another army of Lannisters, and someone, somewhere, is deciding the fate of the world. You just want to get paid for the candles. You're 13. The war everyone's been whispering about stops being distant. It arrives in the form of food prices doubling overnight. Your mother can no longer afford the store fee at the market. The chandler cuts your hours. Flea Bottom, which was already a place designed to crush people slowly, starts crushing faster. There are riots. Small ones at first. You see a baker's cart flipped over and you watch people scramble for the bread in the mud and you think, that's one step above me, and then one step below me, and you're not sure which way you'll end up. You pick up work wherever you can. Stable boy, errand runner. For a few months, you work in the bowels of a tavern in the Street of Sisters, washing cups and dragging out drunks. You meet people here. Real Flea Bottom people. There's a girl named Mara who's maybe 14, sharp-tongued and quick-fingered, who steals coin purses with a cheerfulness that suggests she has genuinely made peace with dying young. There's an old man everyone calls Septon Crab. Not an actual septon, just a man who mutters prayers while he drinks, which apparently counts. And there's a boy named Alar, roughly your age, who brags constantly about joining the City Watch someday. But Mara will be dead within the year. Wrong pocket, wrong nobleman. Quick at least. Septon Crab will outlive everyone. Somehow, this is the cruelest joke the gods ever told. Allah does join the City Watch. You'll see how that works out for him. You're 14. King's Landing is changing its mood the way an injured animal changes its posture slower, meaner, more dangerous. Lord Tywin Lannister's name is everywhere, spoken like a curse. There's talk of a battle coming, not somewhere else. Here, to the city itself, Stannis Baratheon is sailing with a fleet. The city gates fill with refugees from the surrounding countryside. People who had farms 2 weeks ago and now have nothing. They flood into Flea Bottom, and suddenly even your misery feels crowded. Ayla finds you one evening looking pale and nervous in a way that has nothing to do with his usual bravado. "They're going to make us fight," he says on the walls. Against a fleet, you do not say you're a dock guard, not a soldier. You do not say, "This is not your war." You've already figured out that nobody in Flea Bottom gets to say that. Now, back to the bloody river, where you were, the night of the Battle of the Blackwater. You're 14. You don't choose to be here. That is the most important thing to understand. Nobody asked you, nobody handed you armor and a speech. One of Joffrey's commanders comes through Flea Bottom with gold cloaks, rounding up able-bodied men and boys. And able-bodied has a very loose definition when a king needs bodies to put between himself and an enemy fleet. You end up on the banks of the Blackwater Rush with a spear that's 2 feet too long for you and a leather vest that smells like whoever wore it last didn't survive. Allah is 2 men to your left. He has stopped talking about his glorious watch career. The ships come at night. Stannis Baratheon's fleet is enormous. You can see the torchlight on the water, dozens of ships spreading out across the river, oars working in rhythm. There are thousands of soldiers on those ships. Disciplined soldiers, professional soldiers, men who actually know how to use weapons. You grip your spear, and then the river turns green. You have never seen wildfire before. You have heard of it. Everyone in the city has. In the same vague way, you've heard of dragons or the others. A story, a myth, something that doesn't feel real. And then Lord Tyrion Lannister's plan ignites, and the Blackwater Rush becomes a lake of emerald fire, and the screaming starts. The sound is something you will never forget. Not the explosions. The screaming, hundreds of men burning on the water, burning inside wooden hulls. Some of them jumping overboard and burning on the surface of the river because the wildfire spreads across water like it's alive, like it's hungry. Ships explode, not slowly, not dramatically. They simply stop existing in the shape they were. Your side begins to cheer, and you should be cheering. Stannis' fleet is dying. The threat is being neutralized. This is a victory. Except Stannis Baratheon does not give up. What's left of his fleet presses forward. The men who survived the fire reach the northern bank. They hit the shore like a wave, and they are angry in the way that people who just watched their friends burn are angry, which is to say, with a kind of focus that is genuinely terrifying. The fighting reaches the banks, the mud. Where you are, everything becomes very close and very loud and very confusing. You lose Alar immediately. You lose any sense of which direction you came from. There is a man in front of you wearing Baratheon armor, and he is trying to put a sword in your stomach, and your spear is too long to use properly, and you are 14 years old, and you have never been in a battle in your life. You survive this specific moment through no particular skill. The man in front of you gets hit from the side by someone else. You stumble back. You fall into a ditch. You stay in the ditch for what feels like an hour, pressed against the mud while the battle continues above you. When the horns sound Tywin Lannister arriving from the King's Gate, the Tyrells riding in, the relief force breaking Stannis' remaining men, you don't hear a glorious victory. You hear noise gradually going further away. You stay in the ditch. Eventually, it's quiet. The river is still glowing faintly green in places. You climb out of the ditch. Arla is not anywhere you can find. You will not see Arla again. You're 15, then 16, then 20. The battle is called a great victory. Songs are written. Lord Tyrion, who actually saved the city, gets his face cut in half and is quietly shuffled aside. The Lannisters and Tyrells hold a lavish wedding. Then another wedding. Somewhere in there a king dies and another king sits the Iron Throne. You know this the way you know everything, from rumors in Flea Bottom, from bells you don't attend, from the distant sounds of people celebrating things that have nothing to do with you. You go back to work. The chandler rehires you. Food prices stay high for a long time, then slowly come down, then go back up again. The refugees who flooded into the city after the battle mostly don't leave. Flea Bottom gets more crowded, gets worse. You find a woman. Her name is Lys, a strange name for a girl from Flea Bottom, but that's what her mother named her, dreaming of somewhere better. You have 2 children. You try very hard to make sure they have slightly more than you did. You mostly succeed at this in small ways. You're 35. The dragons come. You have heard about Daenerys Targaryen. Everyone has the Dragon Queen, across the Narrow Sea, liberating slaves, burning cities, all of that. It sounded like another story. Like wildfire. Like something that doesn't feel real. Then her dragons are over King's Landing and the bells are ringing, not in celebration, in surrender, and the city is giving up. And for one brief moment you think, it's over, it's done, someone won and now it's done. And then the screaming starts again. The dragon's name is Drogon. You learn this later. In the moment, you don't know its name. You just know the sound of fire louder than anything you've ever heard, and the smell of burning stone, and then the street of flour, where you have worked for 20 years, simply isn't there anymore. You get Lys and the children to the harbor. You crouch under a stone archway while the city burns above you. Sections of the Red Keep collapse. The Great Sept, already destroyed once, rebuilt, now burning again, sends a column of smoke into the sky so thick it blocks the sun. But you hold your children, and you do not look up after you survive. This is not a triumph. This is just a fact. King's Landing is a ruin in places and a charnel house in others. The new queen declares a new era, a breaking of wheels or chains or something. You hear the speech from very far away because you are digging through debris, looking for your neighbor's daughter, who was visiting when the dragon passed overhead. You find her. She's alive. This is the best thing that happens to you in this whole story. The years after are reconstruction. Endless, grinding reconstruction. The small folk of King's Landing rebuild the city the way small folk always rebuild cities, with their hands, with their backs, largely without credit, mostly without payment adequate to the labor. You grow old in Flea Bottom. Your children grow up in a city that no longer has a mad queen burning it, which is a very low bar for better. But here you are. No bard writes a song about you. No maester records your name. The histories of this era will be filled with names like Lannister and Stark and Targaryen, names that sat in the Red Keep and moved armies around like pieces on a civis board. Your name will not be in those histories. You spent your life carrying wax candles and surviving other people's wars and eating stew you were smart enough not to ask about, and the world went on burning and rebuilding and burning again, and the great and terrible Game of Thrones played out above your head like a storm you had no shelter from. You were never a player. You were the board, and that was your life. Born in the gutter of a city that couldn't decide whether to burn itself down or let someone else do it. You asked for none of it. You survived most of it. You were forgotten by all of it. If you enjoyed living this particular nightmare, click the video on screen. We've got more lives to ruin for you. And if somehow you made it this far without subscribing, maybe consider it. Doesn't cost you anything. Unlike living in King's Landing.